and welcome to Super Cinema. I'm the Super Nerd, and I thank you for joining me. And today, I want to talk a little bit about physical media. My friends, we are at a precipice now when it comes to physical media, and our rights as consumers when it comes to ownership is at stake. It has recently been revealed that Sony is planning on ending physical production of PlayStation disc-based video games in 2028. And while this doesn't necessarily reflect their plans on physical Blu-rays in general, this is one major step towards getting rid of physical copies for every genre, whether it be games or movies. And that, my friends, is a really, really bad thing. I just so happen to be one of those individuals that believe that games and movies are art. In fact, I love movies so much I have a YouTube channel where I talk about movies. But I also really, really love video games as well. And I think the lack of a physical option is a detriment to the entire industry. One need not look further than our very own friend Godzilla. Godzilla perfectly illustrates the point on why physical media matters. Because, well, it's very hard to watch Godzilla or even play Godzilla if you are in the realm of digital. Since this is mainly talking about PlayStation, let's first talk about the physical releases. So, on the most recent version of Godzilla, which was released on the PlayStation 4 system, that game is over $300, currently on price charting. The reason for this? That is because Bandai Namco did not want to renew their license agreement with Toho, meaning that the game had to be delisted and that physical copies could no longer be printed. So, unless you already owned the game digitally before it was delisted, like I do thankfully, your only choice to play this game is to spend the ludicrous amount of money on a physical copy. The same thing is happening on older systems as well. The Spider-Man games released on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, the Transformers games, a lot of licensed properties that have games that aren't being published by their license holders are seeing skyrocketing prices. And the reason for this is because they're not made available on any other platform. You can't get it on PC, you can't get it on any modern digital storefronts. If you don't already own it, you're basically out of luck. And even if you do own it digitally, there's a chance that your license could be revoked and taken away from you. Make some troll angry during a game of Call of Duty or Halo, they could report your account and have your account taken away from you, meaning all the money that you pumped into those digital games are gone forever. And now recently, it's been revealed that Sony will now be deleting accounts that haven't been logged in for more than 3 years. Which, on paper, does seem like a long time, but ultimately isn't. Say, for example, someone comes upon hard times and they have to sell their PlayStation 5 to pay a bill. Well, it could take them a very long time to get into a position to where they could buy a PlayStation 5 again, especially now that the console prices are skyrocketing thanks to the demands by the AI industry. So, since they can't log into their account, if it takes them more than 3 years, their account and all their games are just gone. So, ultimately, this all-digital future has a lot of scary things to it. Now, of course, they could alleviate this by maybe allowing us to sell our license back to the digital storefront, for maybe a sliver of a return to get credit, like many people do with physical games. But we all know they're not going to do that because they don't want you to share your games. They don't want you to get rid of your games. If you bought it, you're stuck with it. At least some digital storefronts like Xbox and Steam allow for, say, returns within a certain time frame if you buy the game, play it for an hour or two, and realize that it's just not for you. But on PlayStation especially, once you download that game, you no longer can return it, which is hugely anti-consumer. Now, on the other side of this, let's briefly talk about movies. And again, we're going to talk about Godzilla, because I feel like Godzilla, both in games and movies, perfectly summarizes the problem with digital media. Now, Godzilla has been around since 1954 and has had dozens upon dozens of movies. And some movies are available to, go on, say, HBO Max and watch. But there are a few caveats. Some of these films are only the Japanese dub. And there are still just as many movies available in both English and Japanese that are just not streamable anywhere. Godzilla 1985, the recut of The Return of Godzilla that features Raymond Burr, is not available on any digital storefront. It's also not available on YouTube or any other place that you can watch digital media. So the only way you can watch that particular version of the film is if you happen to have it on VHS, because it never received an official Blu-ray release outside of its initial home release due to how controversial it was. The situation is a little bit better with The Return of Godzilla, that at least got an official Blu-ray release, but unfortunately, no version of 1985 is available officially. And that doesn't even begin to talk about some of the English dubs of the Showa era films. We all remember that great Criterion Collection set of the Showa era Godzilla films that featured all the films from that era beautifully restored. Now, most of the versions in this collection are the Japanese version with English subtitles, whereas the English version is nowhere to be seen. The reason for this? Licensing agreements, my friends. The English rights are held by several different entities, so in order to get a English version of, say, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, you have to have the original either VHS or initial 50th anniversary DVD release. I don't know if it's something on Sony TriStar's end where they have the exclusive rights to the English dub now or not, but it is a problem that continues to show up with Godzilla physical media hunting, and this is a reason why a lot of the Godzilla DVDs are highly sought after and kind of expensive nowadays, mainly thanks to a combination of the franchise's resurgence in popularity thanks to the MonsterVerse and recent Toho releases like Shin Godzilla and Godzilla Minus One, and of course the upcoming Minus Zero. My friends, eventually it'll come to a point where digital media does in fact take over. Eventually companies like Sony are going to be fully over the process of printing out Blu-ray discs. But we can slow that by making sure we support physical releases. If you have a PlayStation 5, if you have an Xbox Series X with a disc drive, please consider making all your future purchases physical media releases. Yes, you don't have the convenience of preloading it, and you can't immediately wake up at 12:01 on release day and immediately jump onto it. Or you might miss out on the pre-order incentives of some digital deluxe edition that lets you play the game 3 days early. But I think ownership is a little bit more important than just, playing the game a couple hours early. These companies are wanting to take your ownership rights away from you, and you should not allow them to. These multi-billion-dollar companies want to make sure you own nothing, and they want you to be happy about it. We are in a dangerous era of greed and avarice in almost every aspect of life, whether it's from our political leaders or from the corporate side of things. We are diving headfirst into a dystopian future, and I wouldn't be surprised if a company like Amazon or if a company like Tesla or SpaceX become the real-life equivalent of Weyland-Yutani. So be sure to fight for your right as a consumer, enjoy art, preserve it, and the best way to do that is by supporting physical media. This has been my rant on the case for physical media. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and be sure to subscribe. And I am going to be starting with movie reviews again here soon, so look out for those. Until next time, I am the Super Nerd, and I will see you at the movies. Take care.